this is the Champion of Howard 16, doing my BatteryMan deck, which is a discarding BatteryMan deck. Let's begin with the actual cards that you should have at legitimate base of any BatteryMan deck, in my opinion. Well, basically the number one to have is BatteryMan Microcell. He's like the prime base. You need him. If you don't have a BatteryMan deck. So, and then there's a card that no one runs in a BatteryMan deck, and which I think is stupid, is Shining Angel. He has basically the same effect as Microcell. So, run him. Run Shining Angel all day, every day in a BatteryMan deck. If you don't, you're stupid. And another card that you definitely need, if you don't, the BatteryMan aren't as good as they can be, is run 3 BatteryMan 9-volts. They're like it's the new card. If you don't know about this card, well, you haven't been keeping track of BatteryMan at all, so you shouldn't be watching this at all, basically. So yeah. Then what you definitely should have as well is 3 BatteryMan chargers. He's a 1 tribute, so he's like the main, like one of the powerhouses, depending on the situation. So you have to run 3 of these guys. If you don't, I don't understand you. This card, it's very iffy. It's called BatteryMan Fuel Cell. As you can see, 1 is not in the card sleeve because it is in my side deck. I run 2 of them, but I sometimes run 3 depending on how I feel. The reason why I kicked the 1 out is because all I could do was draw it. And you don't want that on my first turn. That's all I would do is draw it. And I'd have a really bad hand. So, that's why I run 2. But this also, I found out, one time I was doing a Necro deck. I got like Annihilate. I would have won, but the 2 out of 3 against a Necro deck with my BatteryMan. But I lost because I kicked him out of my deck. I could have added him, sent back his most powerful Necro monster, attacked him directly out of life. But I only had 2 and I ended up losing. So yeah. Most people say to only run 1 industrial strength, but I run 2. Because because of the discarding deck, and if he gets discarded, well, you kind of want to keep him. So I run 2, just so if he gets discarded, because he can't be special summoned by other ways. So I run 2 of these guys. This is like a 45 card deck, so okay, let me get the other cards out. In my form of style, I have to run 3 AA BatteryMan, so, which of course with them, if you know anything about them, you have to also, if you want to run them, you also have to have, I would say, 2 Infernoids summons in the deck. So, yeah. If you run him, you need Infernoids summon. And if you don't have an Infernoids summon or don't plan on getting it, then don't run these guys in the deck. But they're really good strategy along with it. Okay, this card. Another card that no one runs in a BatteryMan deck. I run it because I'm a discarding guy. When it's in the graveyard, I can banish it and summon a monster for 1 less tribute, and then I can summon Charger without a tribute, and then I can go on without tributing at all, because I can just discard him, which I'm going to get into. I have 1 Dark World Dealing, which everyone should know what that does. I run 2 Damage Condensers. It's a discarding and really good otherwise. I only run 1 of these cards hand destruction, but I want to run 2. So, you need to run 2 of these, I say, but I've done really well with only 1, but I want another 1. I'm actually thinking about having 3. Let's get those out of the way. This card can be really good. Have 2 reasonings. 3's just too many. So, now, for the other part of the deck, after the discarding, have cards that can bring back cards after you discard them to the grave. 3 BatteryMan chargers. It's different chargers, spell card. 2 BatteryMan packs. It's a double Call the Haunted. And then 2 Call the Haunted. So then you can bring them back from the grave and then maybe tribute some of them for charger. Or other stuff you may want. And then for just other cards you definitely should have, in my opinion, you should definitely run at least 2 short circuits. 3 if you want to, but I run only 2 because the same thing with, what's his name, Fuel Cell. I drew too many of them and got a bad hand. Soldier of Very Light, I only run 1 because, you sometimes will just get no shinings and no micro cells, and you just need a couple turns. Or maybe just 1 turn. 2 Mirror Forces because I don't like people attacking me. A Marshmallow because you can activate Shining's effect. He gets destroyed, so some Marshmallow. If they only have 1 monster on the field, next turn you can either switch him to defense mode, he can't be destroyed by battle, or you can just tribute him next turn, but you can summon any other, like, it doesn't really matter. Like, you can summon him, they can keep on attacking him, and the next turn tribute him. So, and you can just set him and waste time for turns. This Mystical Space Typhoon, I really only run if they use a lot of spells and traps, because the BatteryMan can take care of spells and traps pretty easily. So, use only Mystical Space Typhoons if needed. At complete needed, like a malefic deck that spams spells and traps, or a spell and trap card deck. Other than that, you don't need to run it. Now, the next 2 cards are very optional. In my opinion, use them. In most people's opinion, don't. The one is I run 1 Dark Bribe. People hate it, but I love the card if in a needed situation. This card that I don't think anyone knows of, it is like one of the last cards in this deck besides my extra deck, and my other card I can't find. Oh yeah, I found it. Is My Body Is My Shield. One of the best cards in my opinion in the game. You pay 1,500 life points, which is a lot, I know, but it can negate a card that destroys 1 or more monsters on your side of the field and destroy that card. So they activate Ogeki, you negate it. They activate Mirror Force, negate it. Activate Dark Horse, negated. Let's go with, say someone activated Short Circuit, you could actually negate that. Stuff like that. Now, the next card and my last card of the deck, it's a no-brainer to run 2 of these. And if I already said this, you already know that what I think basically what it is, but run 2 Artists. So if you like losing the duel, you can summon, let me look, where are you? Well, what you can even do is just summon an Artist. Say you have another Artist in your hand, they attack, discard the Artist to the grave. During your main phase, you can just add that Artist back to your hand, and they know you have an Artist, but it doesn't matter. Okay, now to the extra deck that is basically completely worthless, but I have it just in case. Because I might as well have it. It doesn't really matter. I basically never use it, but I do. Have number 103 Regenzo, I think, or something. Rank 4. 2 level 4s you need. Utopia, because Utopia, in my opinion, just is a good card. Number 80 Ranzer and Bersky, for you can attach them to like Utopia if you ever do summon Utopia. a no-brainer, wind up Zenman. I would probably have one more, but I don't own another one, so yeah. And then well, Zenman I think might be at 1 though, so I don't know. I thought he was bumped up, but I don't know. Another one's just 1 Granosaurus, he's okay. As a golem in certain situations, if you absolutely need him. Well, if you didn't already know, you can tell that I'm sick. Sorry about that. I was almost done with this video too. And a number 39 Utopia Roots. If you go against like Burning Abyss deck, which this deck has only lost to a Malefic deck before that had Mystical Space Typhoon, but the Malefic deck was really good. But if you had Mystical Space Typhoon, these two, they just stomped the Malefics anyway. That was the really first time the BatteryMan went against Malefics, but the only other deck it lost to was in Burning Abyss and Infernoids. Before it was at how it is now. So, it's a pretty good deck. That's all I have for now. Goodbye.